Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will learn about the slope and the equation of tangent line. So first of all, let's learn what is the tangent line. For this, let me make a graph and the curve. So let's suppose here we have a graph in which the curve is look like this. And if we want to draw a tangent line on this, so as you know, the tangent line is a line which passes through only one point of a graph. Now, this is the tangent line. If you draw a line inside of the curve which touch from 2 points of the curve, this line is called secant line, and the line is called tangent which pass through only one point. Now the thing is, if you want to find the equation of tangent line, what is the equation of tangent line? So first of all, we will learn. So first thing is, what is the equation of tangent line? So tangent line is look like a straight line. If you notice that the tangent line is a straight line, it means the equation of tangent line will be same as the equation of the straight line. And what is the equation of straight line? There are different equation of straight line. One is the basic equation of straight line, which is y is equal to mx plus c. Mx plus c is actually in the form of slope and intercept, and there is another way to find the equation of tangent line if you have given a point. So that is actually called point slope form. Point slope form means in which a point and a slope will be given, and the above one is called the slope intercept form. Basically both are the equation of tangent line, but this is slope intercept form in which one is the slope and one is the y-intercept is given. And point slope form in which we use a point and a slope, that is actually equals to y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So what is this x1 and x2? So let's suppose we have these 2 points. This point is called x1 and this point is called x2. So just in case we called the different points, but as you notice that the point of the tangent line is only one point. So why we need these the points? How to find the slope of this line? As you know that the slope of the line can be found by the difference of y points, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is how we find the slope. If you want to find the slope of any 2 points, you have to do change of y points divided by change of x points. Change can be found between 2 points. But if you notice that the tangent point touch at only one point, so what we do, all we have to do is keep this point closer to this point so that the point of this will be merged with this one and only one point will be left, which we can use for the tangent line slope. If I redraw this picture for better understanding, now this is the graph which give you the information more clearly. If you notice that this point where they both join, so one line is a secant line because which cut the curve from inside at 2 points. If we call the first point as x1 point and the second point if we called as x2 point, the basically our task is to find the equation of tangent line, actually the slope. So to find the slope we need 2 points, but we have only one point of on this tangent line. First of all, what is the slope of the secant line? So slope of the secant line is same if this is x1 point, so the y point of this will be called as y1. If this is x2 point, so the y point of this would be called y2. The slope of secant line will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now we want to find the slope of the tangent line. So if we take this point and take closer to this point x1, so means if we take x2 closer to the x1, so what will happen? See, if we move this line and make it closer to this line so that this point join and this point come closer this point, and eventually the both line will be on each other. So the secant line will be parallel to the tangent line. And we know that parallel lines have the same slope. It means whatever the slope of secant line will be the same slope of tangent line. But we can't use now x2 and y2 because when they are on this point, so x1 and x2 will be covered in x1 and y1 only. So it means x2 come closer to x1 and y2 come closer to y1 and they all merge in x1 and x2. So now the slope of tangent line will become, instead of y2 or f of x2, I simply say f of x minus f of x1 divided by x minus x1. And this will happen when x will be closer to x1. Instead of x2, I simply say x. So whatever the x point, whatever the next second point, that will come closer to x1 with this limit. If we apply this one, that will give you that slope of tangent line. So this is the formula that we can use to find the slope of tangent line. Using this formula, the equation of tangent line is defined as, suppose that x naught is in the domain of function. I called it as x1, so that can be called x naught. They are just symbol, so don't confuse yourself. So x naught a we can call x naught, or we can call a, or we can not x1, any point. So this is just a first point of the function. The tangent line of the curve y equals f of x at the point x naught f of x naught, means the tangent line at this point x naught and f of x naught. So look at this, it's like the same as I explained you before. This is a curve and that's a secant line. So if we take this secant line so much close to this point, so that the both lines join each other and they are connected only at this point with the curve, whose equation is y minus, as I explained you, y minus y1. Y1 means the first point, so they called it as f of x naught, means you can say y minus y naught equals m times x minus x naught. This is actually the equation of straight line. If we want to find what is the slope, so that's the same thing. If we take this point closer to this one, so that this point come on this point, so there will be only one point, that will be x naught. So then slope will be f of x minus f of x naught divided by x minus x naught, when the x is going closer to x naught, but not exactly at this point. This is the formula which will be used for to find the slope. But if we say that this x minus x naught means the distance of this, let's call it h, just a symbol, that h is the distance between these 2 points. So according to this condition, that when x is approaches to x naught, think about it, that when x is going closer to x naught, so there is a distance between these 2 points is keep reducing until the point is become closer to this point. It is almost zero, but not zero, almost zero. So we can say that the distance between these 2 points is approaches to zero. So this give you another definition of finding the slope of the tangent line when h is approaching to zero, and that h is actually the distance between these 2 points. So then the slope formula for this will becomes f of x naught plus h minus f of x naught. What I did, actually I just replace the value of x. So by using this, if we take x naught on the other side, it becomes x naught plus h. So x naught plus h is actually equals to x. So in the place of x, we can write x naught plus h minus f of x naught and divided by x minus x naught. That is actually h with limit h approaches to zero. So this is another definition of finding the slope of tangent line. Formula of the slope in the form of h, then we use this one. So you can use any of the one, but if it is given using the h formula, so we can use this one, because in the both questions, you can notice that there is only one point that we need to use, which will be x naught and y naught. Y naught means f of x naught. So of course in the question you will given only one point and you need to find the slope, so that you can find by using any of these formulas. And once we find the slope, we can simply plug the value of the slope here and x naught and y naught, plug it here and find the equation. So this is task that we need to find the equation of tangent line using the slope of tangent line. So let's find it by using some examples so that you can have the clear understanding. Here is an example that will guide you how to find the equation of tangent line using the formulas. Use the definition that we just learned to find an equation for the tangent line to the parabola y equals x square. So there is a parabola whose tangent line on this parabola, there is a line that's a tangent line. At what point? The point is 1, 1. So means x naught point is 1 and y naught point is 1. So as I told you that 1 point will be given. So this is that 1 point. So on this 1 point, we have to find the equation of tangent line, and this is the function is given. Y equal x square means this is actually f of x we have, because you know that y means f of x. So let's find the equation of tangent line. So let's write the equation y minus y naught equal m times x minus x naught. So we have to actually find this equation. X naught and y naught are given. We need to find first the slope of the equation. So let's call this equation as 1 and first find the slope. As we know that the slope is equals to, okay, let's use the formula of h. Limit h approaches to 0, f of x naught plus h minus f of x naught divided by h when h approaches to 0. So we need to use this formula. But before that, we have to find what is f of x naught and what is f of x naught plus h. As we know that f of x is x square. So x naught means the point is 1. So let's plug the x naught value, which is 1 here. So f of 1, it will be 1 square, which is 1. It means f of 1 we will plug here, which will be 1. And now what is f of x naught plus h? So x naught plus h means 1 plus h. So it means f of 1 plus h would be equals to 1 plus h square. So let's plug these values in this formula. So first let's need to open it. Let's remove this x naught by plugging the value. This is actually 1 plus h minus f of 1 divided by h with limit h approaches to 0. So plug the value of 1 plus h, which is 1 plus h square. So 1 plus h square minus what is f of 1? That's 1 divided by h with limit h approaches to 0. You already learned about limit. So we simply solve it and you will notice that how can we solve it, and we'll remove the h from here. First of all, let's open the square on the numerator. It will be slope equals to limit h approaches to 0. 1 square is 1 plus h square plus 2h minus 1 divided by h. I just opened the square, which is a square plus b square plus 2ab regarding that. 1 and minus 1 cancel out. You left h square plus 2h. So if we take common h from this, we left with h plus 2 divided by h. Our task is to remove h from the denominator because h approaches to 0. So if you plug 0, it will be denominator 0, which is undefined. So we need to simplify. H is cancelled out. When you left is h plus 2. Now plug h is 0, which will be 0 plus 2, and that's only 2. So this is actually the slope. Now we need to plug this slope value into the equation 1 and x naught and y naught values. So according to this, the equation of tangent line would become y minus 1 equals 2 times x minus 1. So this is actually equation of tangent line. But we need to simplify this. So it will become y minus 1 equals 2x minus 2, and take 1 on the other side. y equals 2x minus 2 plus 1, and eventually it becomes 2x minus 1. This is actually equation of tangent line on the parabola whose equation is y equal x squared at point 1 comma 1. That's how we find the equation of tangent line. I use the formula of h. You can also use the formula of x naught and x only, but you will get the answer same. Doesn't matter whichever the formula you use, but you will get the same answer. Now here is another example in which we need to find the equation of tangent line, but the curve is different and the point is different, but the method is same. So I will use the second formula for this so that you can also have the understanding how can we use that formula. But the method is same. Y minus y naught equal m times x minus x naught. That is actually equation of tangent line. So here first of all we need to find the slope. So slope is equals to limit. Now I'm using the second one. X approaches to x naught, f of x minus f of x naught divided by x minus x naught. Okay, so first of all, what is x and what is x naught? So the point is given 2 and 1. So here x naught is 2 and y naught is actually 1. So let's plug this x naught and y naught value into the formula. So the formula will become, first of all, let's find what is f of x naught. So f of x naught means f of x2, f of 2, which is, what is the f of x? As we know that f of x is 2 over x. So it means here in the place of x we'll plug 2. So 2 by 2, which is equal to 1. So in the place of f of x we'll plug this one, and in the place of f of x naught we plug 1. So it would become limit x approaches to x naught. Now x naught, what's x naught? That's 2. So x approaches to 2. 2 over x minus 1 over x minus 2, because x naught is 2. So I plug 2 here. Now let's simplify this. So to simplify, I will take that LCM on the numerator. So it becomes 2 minus x over x, and this x will comes on the denominator, and we have on the denominator x minus 2 again. And we know that if when x approaches to 2, and if you plug 2 here, it will be 0 and 0 on the denominator and the numerator 0 by 0 form. So we need to simplify. If you notice that 2 minus x and x minus 2, they are almost same, just the difference of minus. So we take the minus common on the numerator. It would become x approaches to 2. If you take minus common, it would become x minus 2, and denominator is x and x minus 2. And this x minus 2, this x minus 2 would be cancelled out, and the slope you will have limit x approaches to 2 minus 1 by x. Now plug 2, so it becomes minus 1 by 2. So the slope we have minus 1 by 2. This is the slope, we get it. Now let's find the equation of tangent line. So the equation of tangent line using the same formula, y minus y1, which is 1, equals m times minus 1 by 2 x minus x naught, which is 2. And now need to simplify. Y equals to, take 1 on the other side and simplify this, minus 1 by 2x and plus 2 by 2 plus 1, and 2 by 2 will be 1, so 1 plus 1 will be 2. So you have minus 1 by 2x plus 2, y equals to this. We no need to simplify it more further. It's almost, we get the equation. So that is your equation of tangent line of the curve y equals 2 by x on the point 2 comma 1. So this is how we use the formula of x and x naught, and how we use the formula of h that we already used in the above example. Here is another example in which we just need to find the slope of tangent lines. Not the equation, just the slope. And there are 3 points given. So think about it, like all the points will not be used once, they will be used separately. But did you notice that there are only x naught points? There is no y naught is given. So to find the slope, we need the x naught and f of x naught, right? So if x naught is this one, how can we find f of x naught? So f of x is actually y, and f of x is square root of x. So we use x naught 1, x naught is 4, x naught is 9. It means there are 3 questions. Means find the slope when x naught is 1. For same curve, then we use x naught is 4, and same for x naught is 9. So you do one by one. F of x is square root of x. So means then f of x naught will be, if we use x naught is equal to 1, so it will be square root of 1, which is 1. So we have these things. So f of x minus f of x naught over x minus x naught limit x approaches to x naught. So plugging the value, f of x is square root of x minus f of x naught is 1 divided by x minus 1 with the limit x approaches to 1, because x naught is 1. Now we need to simplify. So if you plug 1 here on the numerator and denominator, it will give you 0 by 0 form. So simplify this. To simplify, we have to rationalize. So how to rationalize this? By multiplying and divide with the square root x plus 1 and square root x plus 1, so that we cannot have the value of square root remains here. So if we multiply them, this would give you x square minus 1 square and divided by x minus 1 and square root x plus 1. That's why we multiplied with square root value, so that the square root term will be cancelled out and you left is simple x minus 1. This x minus 1 will be cancelled with the denominator term. So it will be only square root of x plus 1. And don't forget to write the limit until you have the x term. So you have to write the limit with this one. Now this x minus 1 will be cancelled out, and if you plug 1 now in this term, so it will be 1 over 1 plus 1, which is 1 by 2. That's actually the slope of tangent line of the curve this from the point x naught equal to 1. Now the same steps you can continue when take x naught is equal to 4. Then you have f of x naught equal square root of 4, which is 2. And the same steps you can continue from here. And same when x naught equal to 9, then f of x naught will be equals to square root of 9, which is 3. And same step you need to continue. And keep in mind, when you use these things, so on that time x will be approaches to 4, and for 9 x will be approaches to 9. So you will try this by your own. It will be good for your practice.